What does society say? Society says that when you watch TV or look at your smartphones, you learn more from society than anything else in this world. Since we were kids, we were taught in school about what society says. Now these days we have to watch Netflix, VH1, MTV, all these channels to learn what society says. And whatever society says, that's how you have to be in this world to survive. Remember, as kids, we were taught a certain way to live, a certain way to be. We had to be that perfect 10 when we went to school. You had to raise your hand and answer all the questions when we went to school. Because society says this is how we're supposed to look. And if we're not looking like this, you're not perfect. You're overweight. You don't look right. You have blemishes. You have to look like that perfect 10 model that's walking down a runway. That's what society says. You have to have that body with muscles, not look like that nerd on the right. He's not what society says. Society says you have to work out, look good, feel good, have muscles, look that perfect 10. So you got to get out there and exercise, because society says if you don't have that great looking body, you're going to be looked at like dirt, crap, because you're not looking like what society says. Looking perfect. Having that chiseled body. Having that great physique on a woman. Because if you look like this, society's not going to accept you. They're not going to give you a job. They're not going to interview you. They're not going to take you seriously. When you go in there and you don't look what society says, you're going to be left in the back of the room. Because society says, if you look like this, I'm not going to take you seriously. That's what society says. You have to look and be a certain way. Society says you have to get married. You can't live together and be together unless you're married. Holy matrimony. Society says without marriage, you're not fulfilled. And remember, society says you're supposed to have that picket fence, that white picket fence, the American pie. You're supposed to be able to walk to your white picket fence, walk in there with your wife and 2 kids and a dog. That's what society says. And if you don't have these things, people, you're not a part of society. That's what society says. And also, make sure your credit's right, 700 and above. If it's below that, you're not a part of society. That's what society says. And make sure you drive that electric car, not gas car, electric. That's the way society says the future's going to be, electric. And especially if you drive a Tesla, you're winning at all ends. And remember, you better go to college, preferably Harvard. Because when you go to college and get that college degree, society says you will get a good job. And if you graduate from college, which you better, because society says you want to graduate with a master's degree. Nothing less, because a master's degree, you are promised to have a good job, to be able to buy that white picket fence house, and to be able to buy that nice electric car. That's what society says. See, folks, we have to follow all these rules. That's what society says. And your finances have to be on par. The average American and the average person is supposed to at least have $5,000 in their savings account. If you don't have that, society says that you're under middle class. You're barely making it. And you're just one paycheck away from being on the street. That's what society says. So, if you're not listening to what society says, you're going to end up like this, on the street, struggling, one paycheck away from being homeless. It's not me saying this, people. I'm just a messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. Society says that this is how we're going to be unless we follow all the steps that society says the way you're supposed to live on earth. And also, society says if you eat any kind of food, you can end up like this, overweight. And you're not a part of society if you look like this, because you're not going to get a job. You're not going to get taken seriously. People are going to talk about you behind your back. People are going to feel differently when they approach you. This is not the way to be from what society says. You can't walk around and eat cheeseburgers all night. Society says it's a no-no. And also, you can't have very bad credit, because if you do, you can't buy that electric car. You can't buy that white picket fence. You are carrying around debt. And when you carry around debt, it's like you're carrying around weight. Society says you're going to be driving a vehicle that looks like this. And we've seen this vehicle before, folks. Society says you're going to live in a house, if you get one, like this. Society says these things. If you don't follow the rules of society, this is how you're going to be. If you're lucky enough to own property. Society says that in school we have to start out right. Sit up properly. Not like the girl on the left that slouched over. We have to sit up properly so we can walk properly. Society says it all starts in school. You have to train them young. Society says you smile. I know this is a lot. It makes you very angry. It makes you pissed. This is why people like me walk around and look like this all day long. Because I'm listening to all these things and ways you have to be. And it's not right. But society says this is how you have to be. And they say you have to be like a vegan. Eat like a vegan. This is the proper way to eat. If you don't eat like this, and you eat the food I eat, like this, you're wrong. It's a no-no. We all have to just eat vegetables. That's it. What a boring life. You mean I can't eat this guy right here? When you're a vegan, you live and eat a very boring livelihood. The kind of way you live as a vegan is boring. This is the way I want to live. But they said it's wrong. And also, you have to drink water, nothing else. Water. This is the way they want us to be. Society says that all we're supposed to drink is water, because when the earth started, that's all we drank was water. But this is what I like to drink. I like to drink sodas. So you telling me I can't drink this because society says that I'm only supposed to drink water? Yes, so you can live to be in your 90s like this guy and be able to look like Jack LaLanne. Jack LaLanne died at 96. But look at Jack LaLanne, how he used to look in his 90s. If you live right, eat right, vegans usually look like this. So I know I'm not going to look like that, because I'm not really living the way society said I should live. And remember, if you don't live like that, you got to go see these guys when you die. These are guys that specialize in big coffins, because if you die and you're 300 pounds or more, it's going to cost your family more money, because these are the kind of coffins they're going to have to invest in, because you didn't live that proper life that society says. This is what you're going to be buried in. A coffin for 300 and 400 pound and 500 pound guys. And society also says that if you take the law into your hands because you don't want to pay, because you're angry, they have a place for you. Society says if you commit a crime like this, you walk in there and you look like Ape Dog, and you commit a crime, this is what's going to happen in the future. They're going to have a place waiting for you to live the rest of your days on earth. That's this place. Jail, prison, penitentiary. I know this is a lot on us, folks, but I'm just trying to tell you. Society says if you don't do the right thing, this is where you're going to end up. But one thing though, society says you're not cool unless you smoke marijuana. They said it's okay to smoke marijuana. You're cool when you smoke marijuana. Notice, people who smoke marijuana, people admire them. They're considered cool. I mean, I know people that smoke marijuana and people praise them. I mean, is this where our society has come? Society says it's okay to smoke weed. That's what society says. Wow, things have sure come a long way. Whatever happened to this guy? Remember it was cool just to be like this guy? What happened in them days? The happy days. But let me tell you something, people. My own opinion, live the way you want to live. What makes you happy? Everybody can't do what society says. But as long as you have a smile on your face and you're proud of yourself and you accomplish something that you want to do and what makes you happy, don't worry about what society says. Because everybody can't do what society says. I know I can't. Alright, that's the end. Bye-bye, folks. See you in the next video.